Hello, everyone. So we know, of course, about the protest, and everybody's talking about the protest. But there's another factor, and I've talked about this before, but I think it's really, really important, that there is for oil fields off the coast of Mayo. What I mean by that, not oil fields, but there is oil deposits on, like, in the sea off the coast of Mayo. Now, it's not a huge amount. We're not talking about it would be like if it's out of Saudi Arabia or something, but it would probably be enough. And it probably along some other places along the coast. There probably is oil that we don't know about. That we should probably take advantage of that. Government are saying, oh, there's not enough oil coming from the Middle East, etc. But we have our own resources here. Like, we do have a bit. Like, it's not a huge amount, but it still would probably help. And it would probably benefit the country if we went and tapped them. And I know people say about the environment and all, of course, that too. But I do think it as a national security interest, now we have to look at the national security interest too, that's the interest of the Irish people. And I think it overrules anything else, that it would make it cheaper too, because obviously it'd be domestic products, basically, that say it been imported from Saudi Arabia or imported from Iran or wherever it's been imported for the oil, that there's own ones coming from Mayo, and take for example, if there's oil just off the coast of Kerry, we could use that oil, we might as well use it. And of course would help people here, and of course we have our own domestic product. It's the same with nearly majority stuff too. We should be self-sufficient. Like, years ago, people were self-sufficient in this country. We didn't really need much from the outside. Take for example, we used to be able to produce our own energy in the majority of cases because we have tough power plants. In the Midlands, they used to have tough power plants, and they closed them all down. And they used to use power a good lot of houses, etc., a good lot of places. But then they got rid of the turf, etc. And even the turf, take for example, they don't want you to burn the turf, but they want you to use oil, etc., etc. When there's limited oil, and obviously there's a huge amount of turf in this country. But of course, the Eamon Ryan wanted to throw people in prison for burning turf. But it doesn't make any sense, but your logic doesn't ever exist. But you think the Irish government would be like, we have to do what's necessary to protect Ireland's national security interests and the opinion of the Irish people, etc., and the lives of the Irish people. But this is the thing. We look at China, take for example, they're not suffering at all because they're using coal power plants. And of course, they're building more as we speak, but there's no such thing as, oh, we're going to be getting the windmills and the green power, etc. There's no such thing as that. But this is the thing. We should use our own resources. We should try and be self-sufficient ourselves. And of course, there's only a limited amount of oil, as I say. It's not huge. It's not going to last forever. Probably only last for a few years. But we might as well use them when we have it. And the same with even any other things. We should be able to produce our own food in the majority of cases. The same with electricity. We should be able to produce our own electricity. Like, at the moment, 80% of Ireland's electricity is coming in from abroad, not from Ireland. So only 20% is getting produced here, basically, in this country. So if something happened, take for example, it would be very bad for Ireland, only 20% of the country. And of course, we talk about data centers and stuff because that's using the whole electricity of the country. But logic never existed in this country. You think they would have said, yeah, we probably should wait if we are going to have data centers until we have some kind of big power plant or some kind of nuclear power plant or something that produces energy. But I don't know what kind of lunatic decided, yeah, we're going to have loads of data centers and no power in the state. It doesn't make any sense. And we're going to import it. It doesn't make any logic. I don't know what lunatic decided that one. But yeah, it's total insanity. But we have to be self-sufficient because the world is in a very dangerous position. It probably will be for a long time to come. We don't know, and we should be self-sufficient because, again, as an island nation, we're more prone to this than other countries, for example, that are connected through Europe, etc. Even the United Kingdom is the same, but the United Kingdom is closer to Europe than Ireland is. But it's still very worrying. But we have to be self-sufficient, and we have to try and make as much stuff here as possible, of course, for our own domestic product. And I think that's the best. It should be the best because there used to be so much things made here years ago. Now they're not. Simple as that, and it got rid of jobs, it got rid of employment, it got rid of a lot of stuff, it got rid of the economy, it got rid of people's own reliance, etc. On products here. Instead, we have to import them. I don't know why. There's many things used to be produced here and then they got rid of it. Just because why not? But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.